joining us now, former prosecutor David Henderson. David, good morning to you, sir. 17 witnesses so far. Here we are at the end of the week. We've heard from George Floyd's former girlfriend. We've heard from a number of emotional bystanders testify. And then the supervisor yesterday saying that they could have or should have stopped sooner. Who's been most impactful, David, so far with their testimony?
Well, good morning, Craig. What you're saying is right. We heard a week of very strong emotional testimony. Witness after witness said they felt hopeless, even helpless, as they watched George Floyd die in front of them. For me, that peaked when the first bystander, Mr. McMillan, testified, and he told George Floyd, "You can't win." It seemed like he was sending a message not just to George Floyd, but to every person of color. But as I say, it's always darkest right before the dawn. The paramedics testified. One of them had my favorite piece of testimony from the whole week. He said George Floyd was a human being, and I was trying to give him a second chance at life. He made Derek Chauvin get off George Floyd's neck. He took the handcuffs off. He tried to save him. Not only did he breathe life into the case for those of us who are watching it, but he breathed it into the entire case because, as we said, it's going to come down to the battle of the experts. And in that battle, I think the paramedics will turn the tide.
David, one of the things that really struck me yesterday, it seemed as if prosecutors weren't just trying to humanize George Floyd, but they're also trying to humanize these witnesses to a certain extent as well. When we heard Courtney Ross talk about addiction and their opioid addiction, this shared addiction, it seemed as if maybe they were trying to humanize addiction as well. What would be the strategy there, David?
Well, Craig, the defense made it clear from the beginning of this trial they intend to engage in character assassination, and I think that's wrong, but the judge is going to let them do it, primarily through a 2019 arrest video that shows George Floyd's prior drug use and even trying to hide those drugs when being arrested. And I think what the prosecution wanted to do was change the narrative from George Floyd being portrayed as a common criminal to being portrayed as a common man with a common problem. We all know someone who's struggling with addiction. And so humanizing addiction was the right thing to do. The problem is, in a court of law, no good deed goes unpunished. And so humanizing George Floyd came at the expense of hearing yet more testimony about his prior drug use. That makes conservative jurors nervous. They tend to be scared of drug users, especially when they're big and black. And when they get scared, they will excuse aggressive policing, which is what this case is all about.
Former prosecutor and defense attorney David Henderson. David, thanks as always, sir. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.